This is the first of two consignment inventory videos, where your inventory is held by your customers. So to help explain consignment inventory, we've got this graphic. In the first case, your supplier sends inventory to you on consignment, and you hold it, you sell it, but you don't have to pay for it until you've sold it. The second case is where you send inventory to your customer on consignment. So you own it, and you don't actually charge them for it until they've sold it. Consignment inventory can exist alongside standard inventory. So here, for example, alongside your consignment inventory you've got from one supplier, you can have standard inventory that you've purchased normally from another supplier. If you're sending inventory on consignment to your customer, this is typically going to be things that you've either manufactured or you've bought from another supplier. In this video, we look at the yellow example, consignment inventory with your customers. Here's how it works. There are two different phases. First of all is setting up and reserving the inventory for a customer, and the second one is what to do when items are sold. So first of all, create a sales order for your consignment customer, and what we're going to do is create a new order status called consignment, so you can see what's out on consignment. You then add items to that sales order and allocate the inventory, and the important thing here is not to mark it as shipped. Because you still own the inventory, you can't ship it, because shipping it will remove it from your inventory, remove it from your balance sheet, and therefore your accounting will be wrong. So the second stage is perhaps monthly, when the customer sends you a report of what they've sold. You create a new sales order, add the items that they have sold, invoice, and mark this as shipped. You then remove those items from the original consignment order, which is holding the remaining inventory allocated. For this example, we're going to be working with a GoPro waterproof sports camera. I've got 100 in stock and 8 allocated, leaving 92 on hand. So these allocated are actually out on consignment with customer, but I can't see that at this level. All I can see is that we've got 3 allocated to A2C Sports and 5 allocated to Pac West. What we've actually done here is we've created a sales order for each of these consignment customers. We've put it onto the status consignment, and you can see here that there are 5 allocated out of the 5 on order. Because this inventory is allocated to this particular customer, it's not going to sell to anybody else. Using an order status, you can see the exact retail value of consignment inventory that's out with customers from the sales dashboard, or of course you can filter the sales list to just show your consignment sales. Now you don't want to fulfill these sales, so be careful when you're batch fulfilling from the sales list. The best thing to do is actually to show the filter, and from the status menu select all you need but untick consignment, probably untick completed and cancelled as well, and then filter the report, which of course will exclude those consignment sales. You can then go ahead and batch fulfill as normal. What I've also done is set a 30-day trigger on the order status for consignment, which means that after 30 days, if you've not updated a sale, which probably means you haven't spoken to this consignment customer, you'll get a reminder on the left-hand side. And this is saying that 2 sales on status consignment haven't been updated in 30 days. I can click that to see which consignment customers I need to speak to. To set that up, all you need to do is set a remind days of 30 or however many you want to on the consignment status. If you want to see which consignment customers any given item is on consignment with, go to Reports and then Sales Detail, which shows the line items for every sale. Show the filter, put the name or SKU of the item in the search box, and then filter to your consignment status. This will show all the GoPro cameras out on consignment. So now let's say it's the end of the month and Jimmy's sent us a report to say he's just sold one of those GoPro cameras. We'll create a new sale for Jimmy. We'll add the camera, quantity 1, at whatever price we're going to charge him, save changes. The next thing we need to do is mark it as shipped. Because he's actually sold the item, we're going to remove it from our inventory and our assets, so fulfill and mark as shipped. If all your inventory is out on consignment, you won't have enough on hand to do this, so you'll need to release it from the original sales order first. Next, we'll send him an invoice, so let's click Invoice, and then email it off as normal. We'll now go back to the original sale, which is holding the rest of the inventory, and remove the GoPro that we've just invoiced for. The first thing we need to do is reduce the quantity allocated down to 2, hit Save Changes, which then lets us reduce the quantity on the order down to 2, and again save. If I do a sales search for this particular customer, we can see that we've just sent him an invoice, this top entry, and he still has some items out on consignment. The process that I've just shown you has created 2 accounting entries, and here we can see these on the income statement or profit and loss report. So the sales entry is created when the sale for that one GoPro at the end of the month was invoiced, and the cost of sales entry, or cost of goods sold, was entered when I shipped that same order. So when I fulfilled and shipped, at the point of shipping, the cost of sales entry was entered into my accounts. So whilst any inventory is allocated to the customer, there's no accounting entry made, which means you still own the asset and it shows properly on your balance sheet. That takes us up to the end of part 1 of consignment inventory. Part 2 is where your supplier sends you inventory on consignment that you don't need to pay for until you've sold it.